right, we're going to switch things up now. A new poll is out by Public Opinion Strategies, and it finds that 8 out of 10 people say a candidate's position on children's issues will affect their vote in November. Okay, so with us now is Mary Coogan. She's the Assistant Director for Advocates for Children of New Jersey. And let's talk about this. Why are the candidates, Mitt Romney and President Obama, not talking about kids as much as they should be?
The easy answer is kids don't vote. They are going to be talking about the issues that impact people who actually will be voting for them. I think candidates in general talk in broad terms about wanting to have a better future for the next generation, but they rarely talk about specifics. And advocacy groups like ours want them talking about specifics.
I was just going to say, if they read this, 8 out of 10 people want to hear more about children's issues. And I had a couple statistics out of this. Both candidates mentioned children 30 times in their acceptance speeches.
Well, and again, they're talking in broad terms that kids are important, families are important, but they're really not giving us specifics in terms of what policies would they implement to make sure that outcomes improve for children. They talk about in the education, both candidates will talk about educational reforms, K through 12, but they don't get into things like child welfare, child abuse and neglect, juvenile justice, those issues which are critical and impact a large percentage of children. There's probably close to 500,000 children in foster care on any given day, and we spend billions of dollars, yet the candidates are not talking about what policies they would implement to improve those systems.
So what do you think, obviously you're saying that they should be talking about this, 3 million children witness domestic abuse each year. What do you think they should be doing to address these issues, especially right now? Well,
there is a national group called Voices for America's Children, and we belong to that organization, as do child advocacy groups in 46 states. So we've sort of coordinated and engaged in a civic engagement campaign. And what we're trying to do is educate the candidates, whether they be the presidential candidates, but also congressional candidates, those running for Senate, those running for local elections, because they can't be experts in everything. So we're saying here's the research, here's the data, here's how kids are doing in our states and how kids are doing nationally, and we're saying what would be your position or your policy that you would implement to improve that outcome. There's probably children living in poverty is up tremendously. So we're saying to candidates, what would you do to help those families, help those kids? What's
been your response both on the local level and the national level so far?
Well, it's been pretty impressive. The poll that you're talking about was put out by First Focus. We've had a lot of media inquiries like this station, and we really appreciate you bringing this issue to the attention of the public. We are trying to get newsprint media to print articles about this. There's data that comes out of the Annie Casey Foundation, Kids Count data, which is national data and tracks trends. So we were helping to release that data, which really tries to inform voters as to what are the issues that are the most critical. And like I said, well, children's health is another topic.
And on that point, 7.9 million children in this country have no health insurance. And you don't really hear of that mentioned in either speech, especially with the Affordable Care Act.
No, you don't. And actually, even though there are a lot of children who don't have insurance, since the Children's Health Insurance Program was passed in, I think, 1978 or 1980, there's been tremendous progress made in terms of reducing the number of uninsured children. And this is money that comes from the federal government to every state to put together a public health insurance program. And as you know, kids who have health insurance get immunized, they get treatment for chronic diseases like asthma, which reduces the cost overall. So in that area, we'd be saying to the candidates, will you continue to support this program that has been proven to be effective? And I think the poll you mentioned says that voters on both sides of the aisle, whether they're conservative or liberal or in the middle, have said that they want the CHIP program to be continued to be funded.
And I'll just ask you this in terms of, what has been the reaction? Are politicians receptive to this? I mean, they sometimes have their own messages that they want to keep on. Have they been receptive with?
I think so. I mean, I can only speak to New Jersey. We did send out our issue briefs to over 60 candidates running for Congress, and we did get good responses from people in terms of wanting to know what our campaign was about, how could they get us more information about their issues. So I think overall it's been a positive response.
What do you think the #1 issue is that they should be talking about?
I think it should be children's health, or a quality early learning program, because kids who get a good start and can learn to read by grade 3 will be successful adults.
All right, Mary Coogan, again, thank you very much. Assistant Director for Advocates of Children of New Jersey. And the other thing I was going to actually mention to you as well is in the speeches, they said that there was a mention 12 words out of 4,343 for President Obama, and Mr. Romney outscored him slightly with 26 words out of 4,112. So perhaps they should be talking about it just a little bit more.
I agree.
All right, Mary Coogan, thank you very much.